Hi, I'm Brett Odgers and I'll be running the sales workshop for the Boss program this year. I thought I'd take you through a model of how we're going to look at your sales, how to improve your sales, how to increase the case acceptance rate, and to do that in a really genuine, ethical way. I want to introduce you to the genius model of sales. Now, if we have a look at sales as a model, when we're actually right in the middle, when we've got this, when everything's going absolutely perfectly, what we have is, I guess, what I call sales flow. You've got great acceptance rate, you're doing great work, and you've got really great patient outcomes. Now, when that's happening, there's a couple of things that you'll find that happen in your practice. What you'll find is that you really feel like you're mastering the actual sales process, and it gives you an immense amount of authority. It puts you really in the driver's seat. Now, you guys are all authorities as medical practitioners, but that's a different thing to being a sales authority. When you're a sales authority, you're leading your customers and your patients in the direction that they need to go. And of course, the third outcome of being really good at the sales process is increased revenue, increased profits. So when we have a look at that, I guess what I talk about they're the outcomes. So what we really want is sales just to flow and to really feed the practice and you and your lifestyle and all of that sort of stuff. So it's about doing great work for great people and having great impact. When that happens, again, you are feeling masterful of the process, you have real authority to lead people through the process, and you've got plenty of money, which is actually contributing to an enormous amount of freedom. Now, there's probably three key areas that we're going to focus on when we look at this. The first one is the actual person. Who is the person and the performance of the person doing the sales? We're going to look at how do we understand ourselves, how do we understand communication and building rapport. So this is the first pillar of creating those sales. So if we look at what we're actually going to work on, we're going to work on knowing yourself, so self-assessment. And then the next thing that we really need to work on is communication. Actual sales communication, so much of what we do creates resistance before we even know about it. And of course, there's also building rapport. Now that's a really, really important skill when it comes to starting the sales process off. Okay, let's have a look at the second pillar. Now we're actually looking at the process of sales. So we're looking at a whole bunch of things there. We're looking at how to actually have the sales conversation. Now the sales conversation, I call that the conversion conversation. Now this is actually where most medical practitioners really don't quite get it right. They do all the work and they get up to there and they present the treatment plan, and it just falls flat and people say, no, I can't afford it, I have to talk to my husband, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to look at how to handle that. We're going to look at creating a process, a conversation that feels really, really natural for you guys. Okay, we're going to be looking a lot at mindset, what the mindset of a great process is, what we need to put in there, and we're also going to be looking very much at the frequency and the rhythm of your sales process and how we can actually improve that. Now, the third area that we have here is the actual product that you're selling. Now, obviously, that's something that you guys know a lot about, the actual service or the treatment plan. But there's a couple of areas of that we really like to work on. One of them is objections. So we'll actually be doing a little bit of role play and some help around those objections. We're going to give you some really good language around that. Now, some of the language to use around talking about your products is really counterintuitive to what you've been taught. You guys tend to work in solutions. Your clients tend to believe in benefits. So we're going to look at how to re-language the way you talk about the services and products. And we're also going to look at, and this is the ongoing BOSS program, is product expertise. So product expertise is not something we'll be covering, but we'll be just touching on. But these are the pillars, if you like, of getting great ethical sales and great case acceptance within a medical practice. Now, let's have a quick look at what happens if we don't get some of these right. So if we don't get the personal skills right, what's going to happen? You know what? We find that you're just going to be ignored. People are just going to tune you out. And if we don't get all of these elements right, you've just got no real impact on people. Now, what if we don't get the process right? Well, what we actually have is no certainty. And when you've got no certainty, you've just got, you're just taking anyone in the door. You're hoping that you can help them. You're hoping that they will actually accept the case acceptance, and you're hoping, but you don't have any certainty unless you have the right process in place. You do not have that certainty. Now, if we don't have our objections, our language, and our product expertise, you know what we've got? We've got no money, and with no money, we've just got desperation. Now, if you're desperate, what you're going to do is take clients that are not ideal for you, and that's a real downward spiral. So what we're going to work on in the workshop is how we get your sales flow going really well, how we give you some mastery, authority, and increase your money. And we're going to work particularly on you as an individual, as a salesperson. We're going to work on your process, and we're going to work on handling the product. So I'm really looking forward to working with you guys in the BOSS workshop that we've got coming up. And this just gives you a little bit of an insight into exactly what we're going to be working on, and specifically how we're going to help you improve your sales.